Hey, what's going on, guys? So today's video is going to be less about lookbooks and reviews and more information. When I started my YouTube channel, I was looking for videos that would give me the information I needed to make the right buying decision. So it has to make sense financially and, of course, for me as a fit guy, physically. I feel like I'm an average guy just like you guys. So if I'm going to spend money on clothes, it has to make sense. It has to, be worth it, and it has to last me a while. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a particular part in men's clothing that not only gets overlooked in the fit man section of menswear, but I believe in menswear in general. And what am I talking about? None other than the shoulder of a jacket. Now, this is an area of the jacket that, when done wrong, can exaggerate what you have, but when done right, it can complement what you have. So we're going to look at the different types there are out there and how this should frame your thought when purchasing a suit jacket, blazer, sport coat, especially as a fit man. All right, so before I get into the two types of shoulders and the various shoulder sleeve attachments that come with that and how they affect the fit man's physique, I have to say this. If you're looking for the perfect shoulder, I would say go custom. That way, a tailor who is trained in custom clothing can take into consideration the different quirks that come with your physique. You may not see it, but with a tailor's trained eye, they could see that, maybe your left shoulder drops a little bit lower than your right, and they would take that into consideration. Take me, for example. My natural stance, I have a bit of a slope on my back and on my shoulder. It may not be for you, but that's something that a tailor would take into consideration when making me a custom suit. For some of you guys, you may be a little bit more upright, but if you're like me, you kind of have a little bit of a hunch there. So definitely go custom if you're looking for the perfect shoulder on a suit or a jacket. So though going the custom route may be perfect if you're looking for the right shoulder on your jacket, I know a lot of us will be dealing more with ready to wear and off the rack jackets. Well, with those, you commonly find more structured shoulders on those jackets. Now, the structured shoulder has narrowed down in width over the decades from the 20s to the zoot suits of the 40s to the Don Johnson suits in Miami Vice. If you take a look at those suits, the shoulders were exaggerated on them, and even in the 90s as well. But nowadays, things are more modern and narrower. Well, the structured shoulder has a defined angular shape, and what gives it that defined angular shape is the padding that's under it. That's what gives it its structure. And you find this more on English style of jackets. Now, what does this do for the fit man's physique? Well, if you have big traps and you wear a structured suit with padding on it, it just exaggerates what you already have, and that's just a bad look. Whereas if you are a fit guy, but your traps aren't that defined, wearing a structured suit with padding on it, it gives the perception of a more defined physique, a more defined traps. The second type of shoulder is the unstructured shoulder. This is commonly found on Italian and Neapolitan jackets, and unlike the structured shoulder, this one has little to no padding in it. As a matter of fact, I'll go as far as the little padding is actually a thin canvas in there. Now, how does this benefit the fit man? Well, for me, I prefer this one because as is, I don't think I have big traps, but wearing an unstructured shoulder, it complements what I already have because it just naturally falls on what I have. But I also believe this works for a guy who has bigger traps than I do or smaller traps than I do because of the lack of padding there, it just falls on whatever you do have. But you got to keep in mind that the actual drape of the jacket and the perception of how your shoulders are, that plays a role on it. But another thing that plays a role is the attachment of the sleeve to the shoulder. The three types of sleeve attachment to the shoulder that I've seen are roping, fused, and what they would can call spallicometer, but starting first with the roping. This is where the top of the sleeve head is attached slightly higher than the shoulder. This is common amongst off-the-rack suits. You will see this a lot. I have a couple of these, and like the one that I'm wearing right now, it's very subtle, but you can still see it. But I've seen ones that are a little bit exaggerated and it's slightly higher than what I have on right now. As you can imagine, that can affect the perception of your shoulder line. So this is something you want to take into consideration depending on how big your traps are and how big your delts are, because this definitely would affect how your delts look as well. A fuse is much more simpler. They just attach the sleeve to the shoulder, giving it a really nice drop from the shoulder down to the sleeve. With the roping, the shoulder is attached beneath the sleeve head. Fuse, the shoulder is attached with the sleeve head. But with the third one, spallicometer, the shoulder is attached above the sleeve head, giving it a more natural drop down from the shoulder down to the sleeves, more natural than the fuse. So if you take a look at it, it has this shirt shoulder look to it, and actually that's what spallicometer translates into, shirt shoulder. And from my experience, this is more natural, it's more casual, and it gives me more mobility than the first two. So shoulder tab is totally dependent on you, your physique, what you like, and what image you want to portray out there. So for example, if I want to be all business, I'll wear a suit with a structured shoulder, and that will give me a more business structured look. I'm a huge fan of the British style. But say it's later on in the evening, I want to be more relaxed, I wear a blazer or a sport coat, I might want to go with something more unstructured like what I have on right now with a spallicometer sleeve attachment. So it's totally up to you. This is one of those things where you have to discover what you like through trial and error. You might have to try everything out there and see what best suits you. There are guys out there that just want a structured shoulder with a little bit of roping. And some guys out there want an unstructured shoulder, or maybe just a little bit of padding there, and a fused sleeve attachment or a spallicometer sleeve attachment. So it's totally up to you. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. I truly enjoyed researching and making this video. As much as I'm putting the information out there, I'm also retaining information for myself. So I'm growing and learning as well as you guys are. Let me know down in the comments if you like this video, what kind of shoulder types do you like, or which ones do you prefer. I got this one from Spear McKay. This is the one that I reviewed a while back. I'm gonna put a link up somewhere. But yeah, let me know down in the comments which types you like, and I would love to hear your thoughts. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, stay fly, stay fit.